Apprehend God in all things, for God is in all things. Every single creature is filled with God and is a book about God. Amen. Do you guys, do you spend much time in your car driving around town? Yes. Do you, guys? I mean, I spend a lot of time. I was just thinking about it the other day. I spend a lot of time in the car. And I like most of it. It's pretty, I'm alone most of the time. That's nice. Nothing against anybody, but that's nice. That's where I kind of listen to music, listen to the news. I don't really like TV news, so I like to get news off the radio. Sometimes I'll even cut down. If you ever haven't done this, you ought to do this. Just cut through Cherokee Boulevard. You ever just drive down Cherokee Boulevard? Man, that's nice. It's just a nice, peaceful drive. There's really only one thing that just kind of drives me crazy about driving. Other drivers. Other drivers just drive me nuts. So it's like the other day. So I'm going down Lions View, past Cherokee and all that. And, it's a 2-lane road, right? So I'm driving right around the speed limit, not too far under, not too far over, right around, good spot. And this big SUV comes flying out of somewhere and just right up behind me, right up on my tail, and just starts riding my bumper. And the person had a St. John sticker, so if it's one of you, I hate to call you out, but at any rate, we'll keep, I don't know who. So all I know is that the person was just riding my bumper, and so I'm thinking, man, this is annoying. And I'm getting annoyed. And I look in my rearview mirror, and I realize he's beyond annoyed, the driver. He's angry. Because he slams his hand on the steering wheel, and he's like, come on. If I was out of the car, I bet you he'd have beat me up. And so he's that angry, and his anger's starting to get me angry at him. And then I think to myself, wait a minute, wait. I realize, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be in a hurry and to have somebody slow me down. I know what that's like. And I know what it's like to then let that get me frustrated and angry. I know what it's like to be frustrated and angry. Do you? Okay, so for me, when I'm in that place of frustration and anger, it comes out of me kind of like a lament about life, or a lament about the external circumstances of life anyway. Something like, if only this guy would drive a little faster. Right? If only it just wasn't raining again. If only I would win the lottery. I come back to that a lot. But if only, right? If only. If only. If only everything was just the way I think it's supposed to be, and people were just the way I thought they're supposed to be. Then life would be what? If only. Today we hear this from our scriptures. Do not worry about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds. The peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. The peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, can be yours. And the peace of God is like an inoculation for if only. Now, let me remind you, just in case you forgot, let me remind you of what the peace of God is from this epistle. The peace of God is this, The peace of God is a complete sense of well-being that is not dependent upon the external circumstances of our lives. The peace of God is a complete sense of well-being that is not dependent upon the external circumstances of our lives. The peace of God is an internal state of being that the transient nature of all the externals that are going on outside of us cannot destroy. It's an internal state of being. The peace of God, you see, is not dependent upon outward things or outward circumstances at all. The peace of God is a gift. It's a gift from our relationship with the ever-living, everlasting, ever-present Spirit of God that is right here, right now, with us and in us and all around us. And it's when we open up to that presence and seek to live out of that relationship where we experience the peace of God. And my friends, we can have it anytime we want it. I'm not leaving. Yeah, you wish. Okay. So if you look in the bulletin, I want you to just look at the back, toward the back of the bulletin. There's a prayer in there. Not the very back page, but right before it. And as you're looking at this, I'm going to read it to you. O Lord, remember not only the men and women of goodwill, but also those of ill will. But do not remember all the suffering they inflicted on us. Remember the fruits we have bought thanks to this suffering. Our comradeship, our loyalty, the greatness of our generosity, our humility, our courage, the greatness of heart which has grown out of all this. And when they come to judgment, let all the fruits which we have borne be their forgiveness. Let all the fruits which we have borne be their forgiveness. Now, where do you think, it's a woman who wrote this prayer. Where do you think she wrote the prayer? What do you think was going on in her life? She wrote the prayer from Ravensbrück concentration camp for women and children in the middle of Nazi Germany. So in the midst of the absolute worst possible circumstances of life, externally, this beautiful prayer comes out. Comes out of her. That something in her enables her to say this in the middle of that. And I would say it comes straight out of her relationship with God. Straight out of that. Here it is, right here. This is the peace of God which surpasses all understanding. This is it. Now, I'm going to take a step back because I don't want you to think that I'm saying the external circumstances of our lives aren't important. Because obviously they are. When the externals of our lives are good, usually our life is better. What I'm saying is the peace of God is not dependent on them. It's not like everything's great out here, so I'm great in here. No. It's the other way around. I get the peace in me, and then I can live in life as life is. You see, the thing is if I had to wait for everything externally to be perfect before I would experience what Paul's talking about, this peace of God, then I would never experience it unless I'm at a 5-star hotel with somebody catering to my every whim. And then if I was at and my whole life was that. If my whole life was me at a 5-star hotel, somebody catering to my every whim, that would be the only way externally for this to happen for me. What Paul's saying is you don't have to wait to go to a 5-star hotel. You can have it where you are. Because the peace of God is an internal state of well-being. Don't forget, the guy, Paul, who wrote this letter, wrote it from prison. The peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, is with us in the midst of life. Always. And we can have it anytime we want it. So, remember that guy riding my bumper? Okay, so this guy's riding my bumper. Riding me, riding. And I come up to that part on Lions View where there's a turnoff, right? And if you turn, you go down to the Highland Grill and all that. So I start to slow down before the turn. And he goes ballistic. I think he popped the vessel, all right? Because he jerks the wheel. He takes his wheel and jerks it into the other lane. He's going to go down the wrong way to pass me, right? So he doesn't have the peace of God. He's not in a really good place right now. And just when he's kind of just about to go around, kind of like come up on beside me, he sees the car in front of me that I'm slowing down for turning. And you know what he does? He falls back. It's as if right then and there when he fell back, he realized, right there in that moment, that no matter what he does, no matter how frustrated he gets, no matter how hard he pushes, there are always going to be cars in front of him. Right? So why get so angry? The peace of God is right here, right now. And we can have it anytime we want. Amen.
Amen.